Hello, everybody. This is Tyler Vorseth. You have made it to Chapter 3. Congratulations. Uh, Chapter 3 is one of the hardest chapters to explain I've ever had to explain. But this is the meat of the hope that was lost. So I have decided to break it down into two parts, even though I don't have two parts for this one. I will break it down into two parts for you because it is so long and it is so good that two parts simply need to be there. So, in part one, we are going to be discussing chapter 3, A Real Person. And this will be the actual real person segment, including my thoughts on what happened. And then we will go into the fantasy side of A Real Person. The parts that may or may not have happened based on Brain's memory. Now, remember, we are talking about the event that kind of started this whole book. Basically, her dying in 2010 is what kickstarts a lot of things. It's impactful to Tyler, but not only that, it's impactful to the one who died, my mother, Brain. It is very impactful to her, if not more impactful, because she has to deal with the crisis of knowing that heaven is real, and not only that, but she has been missing out on Tyler and his whole memory shtick, where he gets all of his memories back. She has to deal with the fact that she has had past lives and that she has been on so many adventures it is hard to count. And not only that, she has been to heaven before. It does not explicitly say it, but it is implied that she has been to heaven before. And not only one time or two, but many times, uncountable. Yes, Tyler and Brain do die a lot in the lore. It is so uncountable, but they always come back in some way. Now, that sucks if you know that fact before the third book, but it's okay. Anyway, so we're in the flashback. Now, this is moments before she gets captured again, and paraded around the city while she's naked. So, this is literally, like you have these moments flashing before your eyes, so to speak. She remembers a time where she was in a situation that was unwinnable, in a situation where everything was taken from her. It becomes very emotional as you go through, as you kind of go through the emotions of the emotions that happened during 2009 and 2014. So the reason I do a whole segment on this is kind of to give you an idea of the relationship between Tyler and Brain, how much they respect each other and how much they love each other. And I also give you an idea of what heaven is like, just a slice of heaven. In future books, I don't really explicitly talk about heaven. Um, Mainly because, so this is the secret reason. It is mainly because there is no way to present heaven um, at all. Like, it is this perfect place that is unattainable. That is what heaven is to me. Now, it might not be your type of heaven, but I do define a public heaven and a private heaven. Public heaven is where you can spend time with other angels and look at the people on Earth or whatever other planet. Um, Now, private heaven is where you can construct your own idea of paradise. And you're shunned out from the other angels, and basically, you could stay in there forever. But God does not want you to stay in the private heaven too long. It's one of the big things about heaven that is set up in the lore, and especially in this version, is that he wants angels to be proactive. He wants them to do things. He doesn't want them just to sit around in their own personal heavens all day. Because do you know what a personal heaven is? It's hell. It is the actual literal hell. Because what you want to see in life is not really what you want to feel in life, if that makes sense. And that's kind of why Brain is curious, because at some point she is just waiting around, pretty much doing nothing, and she recognizes that she is not being productive in any way, shape, or form. So she decides to look up these books and eventually finds a flash drive. Two flash drives, actually. So one of the flash drives is a backup drive for Tyler's memories. The other flash drive is the actual real flash drive that Tyler is using right now. Okay? These are very important devices. They basically contain all the memories of Tyler. And all the memories that are soon to be. See, Tyler at this point has not unlocked his brain fully, so he doesn't have access to every single detail of his past lives. And his past lives are very important because they actually show where purgatory is. And one of the big plot points of the series is that God is corrupt and is looking to own purgatory, because purgatory was a branch of heaven. It split off and is in charge of basically making souls, which is very powerful. You're talking about on the level of reality itself. It is at the fabric of reality. And so God wants that because he wants to rule over everyone without questioning him. He wants people to naturally come to him and only him. So the thing about Tyler's flash drives as well is that there are only certain people that can actually interact with the flash drives. This is the thing that makes God very angry. So it's something secret. There are only certain people that Tyler actually trusts with his memory. Only certain people can actually know what he knows. And Brain happens to be one of them. when Tyler set up security measures for his mind, he wanted there to be only one person that can access his mind. Now, the problem is the cloning. When characters are cloned, it confuses the heck out of the brain. It makes it seem like they are the actual recipient, and so they have access to the memories. Hence why Future Tyler 1 is able to essentially hack the brain of Tyler so easily. But yeah, chapter 3 basically, shares details on what happens to Brain on Earth, on Heaven, and it describes things like how the angel form actually is, how they have birdie bowels, and how they have wings on their, they basically have wings for arms, although it's like the arm with feathers sticking out of them, they have tail feathers that they hide. Yeah, and stuff like that. I decided to be specific. But yeah, we decide to answer a riddle to actually get access to Tyler's memories within the flash drive, because there is a code that is needed to actually access the memories of the flash drive, because Tyler is a bitch when it comes to traps and backup plans. He can give you backup plans up the wazoo, and that is something that is cloned to the other, that is a trait that is cloned to the other clones, basically. They are the same way. They go all out with their traps and backup plans. They will not hold back their traps. Anyway, so that's chapter 3, part 1. Brain solves the riddle and is basically teleported into Tyler's mind itself. Now, first of all, the first part of this is a kind of a simulation of Tyler's mind in order to prepare Brain. Now, whether the simulation ends or not is a big mystery. You don't know if the simulation that God prepared for Brain is actually dissolved or not by Future Tyler 1. Now, Future Tyler 1, like Tyler, likes to play mind games, loves to manipulate people to do his bidding. And this is different for Brain wanting to be the strategist, wanting to organize people around. It is very different. Anyway, that is part 1 of chapter 3. Basically the part of a real person. This could be 2 chapters, but I don't really want to. 1 flashback, 1 chapter. I mean, that's good enough. Why do anything else with that? Anyway, this is Tyler Voiceth out. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you in the next videos. Tyler Voiceth out.